Well, that's fucking weird. Okay. Well, let's go over to some books that I know I have to read. Fucking probably some Clue or some shit. Right? There's always some clue that's all cryptic. And I thought I'd fuck around with lighting while that thing happened. What, now I can't? So now I can't even look at the books that were on this bookshelf anymore. I can't, like, deactivate it. Oh, fuck, there's the blue book. Blue sheet of paper. Yeah. Let's open it up. Oh. Sorry, Broseph.
Pages. Never. Pages. I must have the blue page. Bring them to me.
Okay, what the fuck? So, apparently he wants blue pages. I didn't hear what the other one wanted. Okay, what the fuck? I thought this was a doorway. I'm probably gonna have to find an expert. I think I know an individual who has in fact played this game before. So the fuck? So I can't come out through there. That area does nothing. Can't do whatever the fuck that does. The information the red and blue books are telling me is useless. Oh. There we go, that painting does a thing. Yeah, my face is completely dark. Oh, cool, now I can read the books. Okay, I get it. So this one probably means that the door over there, like, opens when I activate that painting. When I activate the painting that shows the staircases, it closes the door. Okay, cool. We're going to read all the books now. This one looks whole. Green thing. I called this age Channelwood, and it is a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere, there are only trees, which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I have arrived here late, and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one on which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would never have expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colors. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water. It can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower paths to the village level, approximately halfway up to the grand trees. It is very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. It was also blue and shaped like a police box. The walls were garnished with bright metals. In the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be the leader, for he sat a meter off the floor at a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human, or at least to some extent he appeared human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold up his head to look at me. But what a surprise! Shortly thereafter I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I looked forward to learning more. And then I switched to a red pen, because the black one ran out of ink. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning, and seems almost insane. Almost. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our own language in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what was told to me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly. Some sort of volcanic or tectonic action, I suspect. I'm betting it was a spaceship, though, if I'm honest. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. So this one must occur later on. Oh, that's what's going on. The camera's on the opposite side. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the trees, where they gradually died out, maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I'm not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me, although many details are very unclear in my mind. I am especially confused as to how the humans have survived the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of his story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if they were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I shall never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and sleep. and then he said, "We had expected you to come sooner." His action filled me with an immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto a lower level of the walkway and carried away. He was laid down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green. This morning I woke, finding it hard to believe the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green, for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts color. As I wander throughout the passageways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon, so that I may learn more from them. I have lived on this world for 3 months, off and on, and as such have felt the need to switch from red to blue. And the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I am even beginning to learn bits of their language. I have decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I am sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to the new Sirius and Akinar will react to this curious inhabitants. And then I switched pens to green again. Catherine is staying behind, as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers, and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on the Osmidian age. Sirius has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though this idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. The hospitality is of these creatures such that I can think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I will consent to their request. Okay, seriously, what the fuck's up with the changing pens? I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my learning, and they seem to understand my warning, and I have faith that they will follow it. These fucking contexts make it difficult to read stuff up close. I should have put on eye drops before I push start. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Chakatik. I fear for their survival, and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Sirius and Akinar here. See Everdunes Journal for more information. After watching Sirius and Akinar, I see they are handling things very well, and I think it can put to rest my fears about leaving them in Channelwood again. For a little longer. Purple now. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I am leaving, but are happy that Sirius and Akinar are staying behind again. I have been gone for over 3 days, and have been to many different places. I had to tell Sirius and Akinar about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered him from their childhood. Catherine suggested it would be wise for Sirius and Akinar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I have told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence. It was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures, and am reminded of my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I can see how my inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. Is that why? I have shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know that they had such a sense of humor. Even as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creature for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come too. Okay, I guess that was the end of it. What's this one say? Huh. That was insightful. This one looks mostly whole. Nope, it's still pretty fucked. What about these ones? Alright, let's check out this one. Emmett was the first to live on the rocks. He named them the rocks because that's what they were, a group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of a large sea. This was where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim to nearby rocks, as it was never too far of a distance. One day another person appeared on the rocks, for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Branch. Emmett and Branch quickly became friends, swimming and hunting for fish together often. Emmett showed Branch the simple cave in which he lived on the largest rock. Soon Branch discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun always shone brightly in their world, and the water was always dazzlingly clear, allowing them to see almost to the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Though the sun always shone, it was never too hot for the boys. A light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day while Branch was swimming and having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Branch brought the new boy to Emmett to find out what to call the new boy. Emmett said the boy would be called Will. Will was soon a part of their group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least, that is the story I was told when I arrived today on the island. Emmett, Branch, and Will were survived to see me at first, but before the night ended, we were all becoming good friends. Today, second day on this newly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under a large tree on one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for about an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that the rain was not harmful, yet obviously they still feared it. Before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day. I told them that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change in their world. They didn't understand. Not that I expected them to. I still do not fully understand what happened today. I was experimenting with the art, testing the limits of the rules as dictated to me by Father. I attempted to create a boat by riding it into the world. I thought everything was planned correctly. Yet somehow the boat had become gripped by the rock and broken in half. Although this test did not turn out as I had hoped, I now have answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can see the boys enjoy it anyway, and with that I am pleased. They have played on it all day. Even though the boat cannot move, I have enjoyed studying from it. It is a much sturdier platform than the jagged rocks. In the course of my observations, I have learned some very interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. There's the lamp. So that means that the sun and shit's different. The nights are absolutely beautiful here. I have made a note of and named a number of constellations that pass above me. Also, during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon, which I have not been able to discover. If it is created by some natural phenomenon, or by people on far-off islands or rocks, I would very much like to discover which. I rather suspect it is an additional people, which would explain the appearance of Branch and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened off of the heavier rain, not to mention the thunder and lightning. If rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys told me, I would like to discover why it is falling now. Irregardless, I have decided to return home for a short while. I have also been thinking of some plans for a lighthouse I hope to construct soon. I think perhaps by shining a bright light toward the horizon, I might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. They would be curious about the light and travel to discover its source, if they have the means. Here's a little drawing of this thing. I returned with many tools that I will need for the construction of the lighthouse. I have decided that once the lighthouse is completed, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We have worked 3 weeks on the lighthouse now and are making great progress. The rock that we are building on seems to not be as secure as I was like. I have had to alter my plans slightly, but these alterations pose no real problem. The boys are quite strong and have been helping me immensely. I estimate the construction will be done within 5 days, or 2 days. The lighthouse is finished, and we are all proud of our creation. The boys are amazed at the structure wrought from rock with our own hands. That evening we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and shined a great light to the horizon for many hours. I stayed the night in the top of the lighthouse, and in the morning awoke to observe the sunrise without my being coated with the chilly blanket of ocean dew I had become accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not far from the beach, where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Then Will noticed a man not far away from the girl. Emmett was very pleased to meet the additional neighbors. I feel pleased to leave this age. I have set in motion events that have nothing to do with writing or the art, and will have a more profound impact on this world than I could have ever written. I think of this age as a gift to myself that I will wrap up and open some day in the future, only to discover that it has changed as much, and indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I have yet another new age that awaits me. It seems I'm going to need some way to travel underwater in this new age, and so much planning is in order. Oh, look at that. This is like the basic design. He's built himself a little lighthouse. There's platforms on the jaggedy-ass rocks. And there's his boat that he built that fucked up. It has been 10 years since I left this age, which I have since called the Stone Ship Age. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults, and there are many new faces I do not recognize. Branch told me that it has not rained for 7 years, and that the cool breezes are back again. They are all very content, and have been serving me with new food and showing me... Fucker! Okay. Fuck that up. And showing me new materials they have discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in many forms around the island. My lighthouse has been kept in perfect condition, and it looks as if they have tried their very best to keep it so. Yet I have noted the entire rock it was built on sank approximately 40 or 30 centimeters. Over the course of 10 years, you were like, this thing here looks like it's about, fuck, like an entire foot deeper. Guys, this isn't acceptable. No. It sank a foot in 10 years, and he's bitching about it. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wonder aloud with them what things will be like in here in another 10 years. What? Okay, so anchor. And here's a box. And it's got some constellations in it. I could take a screenshot. I'm going to take a screenshot. That cool. Oh, cool. More screenshots. Guess I missed the beetle. Well, that's good. Alright. I think I already read this one, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, look, this one has a dinosaur on it, too. Are all the books fucked? Like, seriously, they're completely ruined. And a fire wouldn't selectively burn them like this. Because the books that are intact are completely intact. Ooh, this one looks neat. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures. And it was. The sky here is dark and gray, and incessantly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He is very feeble, and has trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through very many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago he told me theirs was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and its people have everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. The people had no means of traveling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. The lookout post's attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep into the ocean, and only the lookout post remained. The black ship sailed away. The man continued to say that the 8 people had hidden and managed to survive through the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. It is also rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago. I have decided, since hearing the man's story, it would be admirable to save this civilization and stop this enemy's plan of destruction. I am excited about the adventure that awaits me. An idea has sparked in my mind to provide the needed defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today, and I have begun to work on a plan for protection. After a short absence, I have returned to this age with my 2 sons. Okay, so one of the sons, went to Waterworld right after his dad was dead and built the lighthouse. So this must be after all of them are dead. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me, and are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it's already obvious to me that they will be a great help this time, instead of the nuisance they have been in the past. All 3 of us, along with 4 of the healthier survivors, began construction today. We are building upon the city's old ruins, which will provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time in the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I'm very pleased with their intelligence and their creativity. Creativity is refreshing to see as they work on some small projects of their own. It's been over 4 months now, and construction is going well. My sons love the world except for its gray sky. They detest the gray sky and tell me many times they wish the sky here were like the sky in Myst. The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months, I feel we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways, and I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. Wait, so this is the same guy who wrote the Emmett Journal, and he has 2 sons. I see. It has been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. It rests between the 3 hills, which are now only islands due to a rising water level that the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress, I have designed a most intriguing device that makes use of a technology called holography. I began experimenting with on my visits to Ampere. I will be working on a couple days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. This holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust my fortress will provide sufficient protection for all of us. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. They had a flag like this. Right here. Their weapons have been stopped, and it appears they have turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched the boats leave. Last night we had a small celebration, and the old survivors danced their dances of old. My sons did not understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons that a blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me. I've had a healthy adventure and have begun work on my new book. Once again, I must leave a familiar age in search of a new one. Universe I have begun. First, I will have an extended time with Catherine, whom I missed very much. I also must return to the people of the tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments they have long endured. I hope to return to the mechanical age one day, find the population growing, my fortress still strong. Though the sky may always be black, I am confident the people here feel a heavier darkness lifted from their shoulders. I think that's all the books. That's all the books, guys. We read all the fucking books. Alright, let's get this shit out of here. No, I don't wanna. I wanna turn around. Alright. Where's the exit? Over here. Here's the boat. It's all sunk and shit. Let's go down here. Alright. So fuck, I still haven't solved a single puzzle. Oh, dude, there's that crescent moon thing that was on the flags. Oh, whatever. So this obviously isn't a White House. Shit. Nothing mentioned any time that seemed to be important. Yeah, whatever. At least that makes a nice right degree, or right angle. Right degree. Hmm. You keep on making that noise. See, I guess we'll go in here. Maybe this puzzle has something to do with something. So it seems like they use their time machine to travel from place to place, and they like write in books and shit happens. Why do you think this room takes so long to load? It must connect to some like important shit. So let's see. There's the puzzle of the twisting tower. This puzzle here, which I think I broke. Because it used to be both of those numbers went up. And now neither one of them does. That's what happens, I guess. You just show up pushing numbers. Hmm. So, one side of that is like power for whatever the fuck. And one side of it is power for a spaceship. Which sounds kind of cool. Oh shit, is that the spaceship? Huh. Doesn't look quite as neat as I thought it would. So this is Myst, which is one time period. And this is where Clarini, or whatever the fuck his wife's name is. Maybe it's his little sister, who knows. Ooh. Yeah, can I climb down? I feel like there should be a ladder somewhere. Okay. Nope, not that. So I want to go there. Oh, I can. Don't you love it when you're like, I want to see that cool thing. And you go there and it turns out you can. So, what's wrong with this? Because something's wrong. Oh? I see. The fuck? Okay, cool. So I reset the breaker. That must be what that is, right? I'm going to go back to the powerhouse. I'm going to like see if that changed anything. Because that would make sense, right? It's like a breaker box. Like, oh yeah, the spaceship isn't charging anymore, which means the power must not be getting to the spaceship. Right. Okay. Fucking spinning disc. Okay, all I want to do is go to the powerhouse. Okay, this right here, that's my goal. I haven't been counting power switches. It's alright, I'll just keep guessing until I get it right. Must be like 7, 6. I'm assuming it's less than 8 because doing more than 8 would require having 2 bytes or whatever of data. I just assume a lot of things are done out of sheer laziness. Okay, so this time, assuming that it still powers up the spaceship, let's watch and see the exact point about where it triggers. It seemed like last time it triggered at 69. Oh, that was stupid. So let's try. $64, that seems like a good number. Because surely, if I can get the power onto the spaceship, then I can open the spaceship door, and then that'll let me get the book thing to work better. And I'm not even gonna try and figure out what that puzzle is. Man, what's that thing? Fuck, there's all this stuff, and I just want to go look at it. We're gonna fucking flick this switch first. See if that changes anything. Can't flick it upwards, can't flick it leftwards, can't flick it rightwards. Oh. Huh. Guess I don't get it. Like, where are my hints? Or am I just supposed to kind of like RDM it? Okay, I'm gonna flick this switch in an upwards direction. Okay, here's a piece of paper. Okay, I already read this. 4-chamber beside the dock. Okay. So this is obviously the dock. So I'm looking for some sort of place to enter some numbers. Gears. I don't think I've been up here. Well, I have been. I did do like a quick little make sure the game doesn't explode run. Which is always important. Oh, what's this? Just a shadow, huh? Uh, this must be it. Because this is by the docks. We need to enter the number of switches. So let's see. I don't see any way for me to like interact with this room in a traditional sense. I can push this button and that fills it with water, right? See, it shows me this. Obviously, I can't do shit with it. So what the hell was the point in showing me? Okay. Can I do anything with it now? It's like this. Does it make the room change? What the fuck is this game? Zip mode. Sure, we'll see what that is. Drop page. Oh, I feel like I did something stupid. Okay, pressing square does nothing different. Pressing triangle does nothing different. Pressing square does nothing different. What the fuck? That's a different symbol. No, that was a different symbol. Why did it give me a lightning bolt? What's going on? Oh, I see. It takes me straight to freaking puzzly areas. So instead of fucking around, okay. Let's give you water. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. You can see that. Water turbulent pool. Damn it. Topographical extrusion test. 40, 67, 47. Marker switch diagram 47. Okay, that's different. That's not what that used to look like. Oh, now it's gone. Guess maybe I was tripping. I'm glad somebody put in zip mode. I don't know who, but I much appreciate it. At least this will clarify for me what areas are important. God, I've been holding this thing for so long, my hand's gone numb. But now I'm fucking intrigued. Okay, so that's another puzzle zone. This thing up here. So we'll call that the bullshit room. We'll call this the bullshit gear. We'll Call that other place the bullshit library. I'll call this place over here the bullshit planetarium. I actually kind of like this still. I am irritated that I can't seem to figure out what's going on, but frankly, I think if I knew what was going on, I wouldn't be intrigued. Okay, so I fucked with all the switches, right? Every single one is in a different position than it was when I first got here. We're going in. We're going to turn the lights off. Turn out the lights and close the door. Okay, I guess I can't close the door. Now, obviously, I can't do much with this machine right now. But I did see some pictures. Maybe those will help me somehow. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Change this 828 to 830. Okay, and drag me from June to January. So this is what it looks like in January. This is what it looks like in February. This is what it looks like in March. This is what it looks like in April. This is what it looks like in May, June, July, August, September. See if it changes from the 12th to the 11th. Okay, so let me see if I got this right. It's down. It's also down. That's much further down. Like what? Okay. Trying to figure out how to make it move left and right. Okay, so obviously changes of a couple minutes aren't quite going to cut it. Okay, so this moves it right. These three move it up and down. So this changes left and right. And these change up and down. So now I just gotta look at the ceiling and figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do with this information. Okay, so let's get out of the fucking chair. Right. So why don't we go look at the pictures we took earlier? Yeah. Jeez, dude. I didn't think this game was that fucking hard. Thought I'd solved like one puzzle by now at least. Okay. Where'd the pictures go? There we go. Okay, so let's see. There's the anchor. There's the eye. There's the snake. There's the spider. There's the cross. There's the arrow. Oh, these are constellations. I reach ya. Okay. So let's start with the eye. Let's see if we can find something that looks like this eye over here. Right? Right. Webcamception. So it's like a dot, two dots, a dot, and then a dot up above it. Cool. Yep, let's restore it. You know what? I'm gonna give up for a minute on this. Jeez. Let's save. Oh. Save. Let's save the game. And nope. Please tell me I didn't crash it. Oh my god, I would be fucking pissed. I think I just crashed it. Never had a freaking game crash in the save menu. Huh. Let's try going out and coming back in. Maybe that'll help. Fuck.